Once you've groomed your horse, brushed them all over and picked all of their feet, it's time to saddle. First thing you do is grab your saddle pad. There is a front end and a back end to your saddle pad, so make sure that you put it on the horse's back in the correct position. You want to follow the horse's shoulder pattern. So you got this nice curve going right here, which matches the curve of that front shoulder. So go ahead and put that on your horse's back. And you want to make sure that it's not too far forward onto the horse's neck, nor is it too far back on their back. This is too far back. You want to kind of a little bit higher, covering their withers. Imagine that that saddle is going to be on there and a girth is going to be falling directly behind that front leg. Make sure it's even on both sides. Then you grab your saddle and raise it up, and make sure that you don't put it too heavily on their back. Kind of nestle the saddle gently on the horse's back, and then sort of check your position of the saddle. You don't want it too far forward or too far back. Going to lift those front flap up and see where the leather is hanging, and they should really kind of fall directly behind that front leg. I also like to take my pad and kind of tuck it in and create a nice little pocket of air space right there, so that that pad isn't pressing down on their withers. You want to sort of alleviate a lot of that pressure. Once that saddle is on, I grab my girth. An English girth typically has buckles on both ends, and some have a girth with elastic only on one end, such as this one. You want to make sure that you attach the static side, the non-elastic side, to the right side of the horse. If you have a cinch, or a girth rather, if you have a girth that has elastic on both ends, it doesn't really matter which end you use on which side. If you have a little ring, that technically should go forward. If you have rings on both sides and elastic on both ends, then it doesn't matter. So you're going to take your girth, you have two buckles, lift that flap up. You see that you have three billets. You're going to use the two outside ones. You can either use the second or the third hole. I like to start with the second or the third and then go from there. Sometimes it doesn't lie flat, so I match it. And I check the position of my saddle. Forward. Make sure that the cinch is hanging in the correct spot, not too far back, and not going over the leg. And then you walk back over to the other side of the horse. Reach underneath, you grab your girth, you raise it up. You're going to raise this flap up so you can expose your leather. Grab the first buckle and that first leather. You kind of just make it tight enough without yanking too hard. Take the other one and you match it. And then you go up one more hole and you match it on this side. You don't want to go tight too fast. You want to kind of let them sort of settle into the tightness around their stomach, around their belly. So you just kind of make it snug enough so that saddle isn't going to be moving around too much on their back. But leave it alone after that, because you still have to bridle and you still have to wait for your instructor to come and collect you and to walk out to the arena for your lesson.